Hello VC, what's going on? It's me, Will, and I'm finally back, back with a new video to do my Record Store Day 2018 haul video. And yeah, if you watch my videos, you know that I'm a big fan of Record Store Day. I usually try to go down to the record stores early in the morning on Record Store Day, just so I can pick up some of the exclusive releases that they come up with in that year. And yeah, this year was no exception. There were a lot of things in the list that I wanted to pick up on Record Store Day this year. Really a solid list that they came up with for this year's Record Store Day. And yeah, I normally go down to Criminal Records, which is a record store here in Atlanta. I think it may be the biggest record store down here in the city. But this year I decided to try something different, and I went down to a different record store. I went down to Fantasyland Records, which is also here in Atlanta, but it's in a different part of town, and it's a great record store. If you're ever in town, I highly recommend that you check out Fantasyland Records. Just for no reason, I just wanted to try something new. And one more thing is that the lines at Criminal Records on Record Store Day are really crazy. You have to really show up really early in the morning to pick up, or to be able to be in front of the line. If you get there like at 8 in the morning, you're screwed. You have to wait there for at least 2 hours or more. So yeah, I decided to check out Fantasyland Records, and I'm glad that I did, because I showed up early this year, but not that early. I went down at 6:30, and I was only, I think there were only like 10 or 12 people ahead of me. So when the store opened at 10, I didn't have to wait too much to get into and to pick up the records. So yeah, a great record store, a great Record Store Day. Let's go ahead and check it out, what I got. And let's start off with freebies. Great year for freebies. I got this really nice tote bag that I've seen a lot of people that have got the same one. It's the yearly Record Store Day tote bag, or the record bag. And I love the design for this free tote bag. It has the Polaroid camera with spinning out the records and the pictures of records. Really cool stuff. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I'm a huge fan of Polaroid cameras. I actually collect Polaroid cameras. I have one actually right here. It looks very similar to the one in the picture in the tote bag. So yeah, I was glad that I picked that they gave me that tote bag for free. Really cool stuff. And then they also gave us a couple of sampler CDs. This one's special for Record Store Day, I guess, and this one is the Warner Brothers sampler CD that I haven't listened to yet. And they also gave us little button of Record Store Day 2018. And yeah, let's go ahead and start with the records. I got a few singles and at least I think 5 12-inch records. So let's go ahead and check it out. Let's start off with Super Chunk. I picked up the Record Store Day exclusive release of this one's called What a Time to Be Alive, which is one of their newest songs from the newest album, which is really good, by the way. It's the acoustic version of the song with Erasure, which is also another new song, and an acoustic version of it. And this one came in on, I don't know if you can see it there. I'm not gonna open it, but it came in on transparent vinyl. You can see it right there on Merch Records. Cool single right there. I picked up another 7-inch single, this one by The Descendants, the punk rock band from California. And this one is Who We Are. And I wasn't familiar with this song. It might be a new song. It definitely sounds like a newer song by The Descendants. And I've only listened to it once, and I didn't really like it that much. It sounds kind of like very generic pop punk song that is trying to be political, especially in today's environment. They have the lyrics right here in the front of the cover. I just didn't dig it too much for a Descendants song. The B-sides are actually really good here. They have a song called Pavlov's Cat and Opt-In. Really catchy stuff coming in from the Descendants. And this one came in on standard black vinyl on Epitaph Records. There you go. Alright, another single that I picked up. I usually try to pick this one up on Record Store Days. This is the side-by-side, or a split single that they came up with for this year. And in this year, or actually, normally what they do in Record Store Day is they don't have anything in the cover. They just have a blank cover, and it's kind of like a surprise where you don't know what you're gonna get. And it's usually a song or an original song from a band, or an older song from a band, and then the B-side is the same song or a cover of that song by a different band. And this year they decided to just announce it here in the hype sticker. They also had it in the list. I'm not sure why they decided to do that this year. And it's a song by the Distillers. I'm a huge fan of the Distillers, and this one's called Dismantle Me. A fantastic song by that band, by the Distillers. I love that song. Unfortunately, the B-side, or the cover version of that song by the Regrets, is not very good. I'm not a big fan of the Regrets. I gave him a shot I think it was last year. I listened to them a few times and I could not get into them, especially with this song. It sounds very uninspired. It sounds like the singer was really trying to mimic too much the voice of Brody Dahl from the Distillers, and it just doesn't sound very different. It doesn't sound very unique or original. They just ended up making like a cheap copy of the song by the Distillers. And but I wanted to get it because I'm a huge fan of the Distillers, and I wanted to collect some of their singles. It came in this nice kind of like a mixed pink and orange. I don't know if you can see the orange very well there. Vinyl, really cool stuff coming in from the Distillers. I may give the Regrets a shot again later on this year, but what I've listened to of them is not really very good. It's not my cup of tea. All right, let's move on. And the next single, I guess this is more of an EP. This is the newest EP by Belly. Yes, Belly is back after like I think a 20-year hiatus, and you can see it here in the hype sticker. It says first new music from Belly in over 20 years. Really excited to hear new music for Belly. I think the new album is gonna come in the mail very soon, and they released this new EP to promote some of their new songs. It has 2 new songs and 2 songs that were released online, which are, I think, at least one of them is a cover song. And there's the back. This is a 10-inch single, or a 10-inch vinyl, and this one came in a really, really cool color vinyl, kind of like a blue splatter white vinyl. Awesome looking record right there from Belly. And yeah, I did listen to this one once, and I like it. It's maybe not as good, of course, as the old school Belly from back in the 90s, but it's still pretty good. I liked it. It's maybe not as edgy as the older or the original songs from Belly, but it still sounds good. And maybe the more I listen to it, the more I like it. And this one has, again, 4 songs: Army of Clay, Human Child, Starry-Eyed, and Hushabye Mountain. Really cool songs from Belly. All right, next. This one is actually not mine. I picked it up from my girlfriend. She's a huge fan of The National, and this one's called Boxer Live in Brussels. And I did listen to this one, and it is awesome. I used to not be a fan of The National. I've been listening to them more and more in the last few weeks or months, and the more I listen to them, the more I like them. And this one was actually really limited. It was the only one that they had at the record store that I went to in Fantasyland. And when I was checking out, actually the store owner told me this is the only one that they got. So I was really lucky to find this one. Really cool cover with kind of like a shiny artwork right here in the front. Same thing here in the back with the lyrics, or sorry, with the track list. And this is supposed to have the whole Boxer album live, of course, in Brussels. And it came in with a printed custom inner sleeve with a limited edition clear vinyl from 4AD Records. And the clear vinyl is kind of like a smoky clear vinyl. Really cool stuff. Great looking record from The National. And I'm actually going to be seeing The National live this weekend at Shaky Knees Music Festival. So I'm really looking forward to listening to this band and seeing them live. And this live record is really good. If you get a chance to pick this one up, I highly recommend it. All right, up next. If you watch my videos, you know that I had to pick this one up. This is the Ramones. Even though I have already all the songs that came in on the CD, one of the CDs in the box set of Leave Home that came out last year, or the box set of Leave Home for the anniversary of the album. I wanted to pick this one up because it's, of course, on vinyl, and I don't know. I'm a Ramones collector, so I had to pick this one up. And this one's called the Sun Dragon Sessions. So it has a lot of the demo versions of the songs from Leave Home, the second Ramones record. And this one came in on Side Records and is limited to 10,000 copies. So they made a lot of copies of this one. I'm sure you'll be able to get at least a copy if you go to the record stores right now. It came in on a die cut cover right here, and a lot of hype stickers that I left them here in the original sleeve. It also came in with a coupon that you were supposed to put it online and see if you win $1,000 or something. I signed up and I didn't get anything, so I must just assume that I didn't win it. Here's the coupon with the number right here, and it came in on just regular black vinyl with the classic Ramones seal labels. And I did listen to this one on vinyl. Of course, I'm not an audiophile, so I think it sounds almost the same as the CD version, but I think it's pretty cool to listen to it on vinyl, almost like it's almost like it's supposed to be listened to, almost like it was a regular album by the Ramones from the 70s. So I was glad that I picked this one up, and I'm glad to add it to my Ramones collection, of course. All right, up next. I was really looking forward for this one because I'm a huge fan of Courtney Barnett. I do not own a copy of her first 2 EPs, and I picked this one up. This one's called the double EP, A Sea of Split Peas, from Courtney Barnett, the singer-songwriter from Australia. And this is a double LP album, or double EP, I guess, on picture discs. And this one's really cool. The record store also picked up, I think they only got one of these ones, and from what I got from the owner, he said that I was able to get the only copy that they got. Again, on double vinyl with the picture discs, and nothing too exciting, I guess, about the picture discs because the artwork is not really that cool, at least in my opinion. But it's still a very cool record. It sounds okay for a picture disc. And what's cool about this, or I guess it's kind of cool, is that it came in with. It says that it came in with a poster and with a temporary tattoo. And I thought first that it was gonna be a poster and a tattoo of, or a temporary tattoo of Courtney Barnett, but it wasn't. It ended up being a poster of the record label, which is Mom and Pop Records. I don't know if you can see the whole thing right there. It's a cool poster, but if you're gonna advertise the poster, might as well be a poster of the artist. I'm not sure whether they are advertising the poster of the record label, but anyways, it's kind of cool, I guess. And here is the temporary tattoo that came in the record. Again, Mom and Pop Records from Australia. And yeah, great double EP from Courtney Barnett. I'm also gonna be, this is another artist that I'm gonna be seeing live again this coming weekend at Shaky Knees Festival here in Atlanta. Really looking forward to that show. Great double EP from Courtney. All right, one more here. I also picked up The Kills, and I was really looking forward to this record because the last Kills album that came out a couple of years ago is so good. And they announced this one. This one's called the Live at Electric Lady Studios in New York City. And it has a lot of the newer songs in this live record. So I was really looking forward to that, to this LP. Again, a huge fan of Alison Mosshart of The Kills, and Discount, of course, her former band. And also of the Dead Weather. She plays in that band with Jack White of the White Stripes. Came in on a nice gatefold with both the band members of The Kills right here. Just a single LP on this one, but there's a track list, a lot of the songs from the new record and some of their hits as well. And the record itself came in on just a regular black vinyl with the Electric Lady Studios labels. And of course, being a recording studio that they recorded this live record, the sound is awesome. Yeah, the sound quality in this live record is really good. You can really hear high quality voice coming in from Alison and from the guitar player. It's just a great live LP. This is the kind of band that if you're into any kind of rock and roll music, you will like. I love her voice, I love the guitars. Great band, The Kills with Live at Electric Lady Studios. So that's actually all I picked up at Fantasyland Records for Record Store Day. I really wanted to get also the Courtney Barnett single that she also released on RSD this year. but they didn't have it at Fantasyland, so actually I ended up going back home, still feeling pretty happy. I got everything that I got from my list except that Courtney Barnett single. But later that afternoon, I actually ended up going down to Criminal Records and Little 5 Points here in Atlanta. Since I went there in the afternoon, there was no line. There were still a lot of people, but there was no line. I went right in, thinking that I'm probably not going to be able to find that Courtney single, but I went there just in case, and indeed, they did have a couple of copies left of the Courtney Barnett single, and this is her newest single from her newest album. This one's called City Looks Pretty, and a B-side called Sunday Roast. It's a 12-inch single coming in from Courtney Barnett, and I was... Since I went all the way there just to pick it up, I ended up buying it, but this was really expensive. It was $19 for a 12-inch single with just 2 songs that are gonna be included anyways in the new album that I'm also gonna buy anyways. They could have easily made this single 7-inch single instead of a 12-inch single and make it a lot cheaper than that. I'm not sure why they decided to go with the 12-inch version of it. The new song is fantastic, don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of Courtney Barnett, and I was gonna pick it up anyways, I think, but they could have easily made this a 7-inch single. I'm not sure why they went that way. It came in with a printed inner sleeve with the lyrics, and another thing, nothing in the back. If you're gonna charge $20 for a 12-inch single, at least put a picture or some kind of artwork here in the back. Nothing here inside. Very minimalistic design, I guess, for the artwork of this single. Came in on standard black vinyl with also very plain labels from Mom and Pop and Milk Records. But anyways, great song by Courtney Barnett. I'm trying to collect her singles, so I had to pick it up. And when I was checking out at Criminal Records, they also had a couple of freebies. So they give you to choose between the tote bag that I showed you before that I got at Fantasyland Records and the t-shirt. Of course, I went with a t-shirt because I already had the tote bag. And the t-shirt is really cool. It has some artwork from Our Land, which is a local artist from here in Atlanta. He has a very peculiar style of art, as you can see there in the picture in the t-shirt. If you go to a lot of places in Atlanta, especially where the record stores are down in Little 5 Points, you see a lot of his artwork in graffiti or places around town. It's a really cool style of art that he has. And he did one special for Record Store Day, and as you can see right there. And it says April 21st, 2018, Criminal Records. Really cool souvenir from the folks at Criminal Records. And one more thing that I forgot to show you before. I picked this one up at, or they were giving it away at Fantasyland Records, the first record store that I went to. It's a really, really cool poster. Promo poster from Dogfish Head, which apparently is the official beer of Record Store Day. As you can see right there in the bottom of the poster. But again, really cool artwork right there. I really like it. I'm probably gonna try to frame this one for my music room. And it says Dogfish Head. But yeah, that's all I picked up for RSD. Really cool stuff. Great Record Store Day. And I've been catching up on some RSD videos from the VC members out there. I'm glad that a lot of people were able to get all their stuff. And just seeing people excited about Record Store Day is really cool. And again, VC, thank you for watching, and that's all I have to show you. Take care. Bye-bye.